you look at all these YouTube channels and like big content creators and stuff, and they're making the same content over and over again with like one tiny little twist or something. And I mean, they can get away with it because they have all these millions of fans and stuff. But it's like it's kind of disappointing. It's just lazy. And so I would like to kind of inspire people to, try new things rather than just like replicate what so and so YouTuber or filmmaker or streamer is doing. What do you have that they don't have? What can you do that they can't do? How can you, you know, take their content and completely flip it on its head and come up with something entirely new? Stop replicating the same old videos over and over again.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Team Reinvented Gaming Podcast. I am here with Dawson Pitcher, the videographer for Team Reinvented Gaming, but also in his own right, a videographer and a photographer wholeheartedly, and he does amazing projects and creates amazing just products in general. So, Dawson, welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here and
It's
everything.
an honor. It's an honor. Glad to be here.
Thank you. So, yeah, man. So let's dive right into it. People haven't met you really yet.
Hmm.
You've been a part of the org for a few months now, and we haven't shown you to our YouTube audience yet and everything. Soon they'll see you.
Yeah.
But no, thank you for being on the podcast, and I can't wait to touch on like just videography in general and that industry. One is supporting the esports, obviously, but just as a whole, the industry has been around for a long time. But even with the advancements in technology and the different ways that media is growing in today's day and age, I'm just interested to hear your thoughts and your perspective on that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
so, um, so we can start with, I guess, I guess my first question is going to be why videography. So, why did you get into videography, and why did you choose that route?
Yeah, so going back like as a little kid, like probably like 8 years old or something, I found my mom's or my parents like their old big like VHS camcorder thing, and kind of started messing around with just like making little dumb videos. And of course I was a little kid, they were horrible and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Um and I saw these videos online of like different like stop motion like with little Legos and stuff like that, and I
Mm-hmm.
was just fascinated by like storytelling in general. And I was really big into I guess stories like as a whole. I was big into reading and everything. And then once I kind of realized that making videos was a possibility as a kid, I kind of started getting more and more into it. And all throughout my youth and stuff, just got more and more into it, as well as just content creation as a whole, everything from photo and graphic design to like animations and shooting short films and all sorts of stuff. I was just big into it. I thought it was so crazy that you could like tell a story like with visuals and stuff instead of just like through a book or something. I just thought it was the coolest thing. And so then throughout junior high and high school, started taking classes and stuff. I was lucky enough that my high school actually offered a couple different courses that I was able to get into, where I first started like animating and stuff, just like 2D animations. And then eventually I decided that going into college, I wanted to pursue media communication is the official degree,
Mm-hmm.
but majored in MediaCom with an emphasis on film production, which basically just means I watched movies all day and got credit for it in class. So that was sick. And it was about that time that I started getting into esports and gaming and stuff. And the point where I'm at now is that I have realized that it's a really unique thing that you can apply media to something you love as much as video games.
Yeah.
Um, it's a really cool kind of combination of the two because in video games and stuff, there's tons of people on YouTube who make like content and gameplay and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, and that's cool. It's awesome. I watched lots of videos like that. But what's special about esports is just that it's telling a story in and of itself. It's a competition. It's one team versus another team, kind of, depending on which side you're rooting for the good versus the bad and stuff, and so kind of a classic, butting of heads, some conflict, and that's kind of the root of most good stories is some form of conflict, and so it's really easy to turn that into a form of storytelling. Um,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, I guess that's kind of how I got into video stuff as a whole, and kind of where I'm at now. So,
No, nice, nice. No, yeah, yeah. I think where you're at right now is definitely a good spot. That storytelling aspect you said is really important. I believe, especially in esports. Um, I can only imagine the creativity that comes out of that, or the creativity that you can create. I know we talked about this all the time, and like
mhm.
how you just want to just creatively express yourself and try new things out all the time. Like
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
working on some stuff right now that's new and different, right? Um, so yeah, it's good. I definitely know that side of the house. We can definitely use a team invented gaming and that I talked to you about that storytelling aspect. So no, that's legit though, man. That's legit. So do you think in today's day and age there's too many videographers? Like I think I guess the simplest terms, I think videography is saturated, right? There's a lot of videographers, there's a
Hmm.
lot of photographers. More so have come up or became those in recent years due to esports industry and other the creation of YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that, right? So do you think there's too many videographers, or do you think there's not enough? Like, what's your take on that?
So yeah, I could definitely see an argument made for a bit of oversaturation in the video field specifically, as
Mm-hmm.
well as just media as a whole, because especially like ever since YouTube kind of became a thing, people started realizing that like anyone can do it, or supposedly anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Which I believe if you put in the work and you have some level of skill and talent that you can, you know, be a really good YouTuber or Twitch streamer or whatever. um, but I think it's definitely also led to a lot of people kind of going for that route, because it's a cool thing to do. It's fun if you're even creative a little bit, then it can be a really, really fun thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's definitely a lot of people trying to get into it. And I think at at least from my experience, what I think is that there are a lot of people trying to get into the field, but there's not necessarily a whole lot of good ones. That might sound kind of rude, but
Like, I don't mean to cut you off, but you mean like good up to your standard of what good is, or good as in they're just not good. Like they're just uneducated about it. Like,
kind of both. So, I mean, I obviously have a standard that I hold myself to, and
mm-hmm.
I'm constantly trying to push that boundary. Um, but also, I feel like there's a lot of people who kind of have it in their head that it's easy and you can just coast through it and stuff, and you can kind of follow traditional routes and just repeat content that's being produced over and over again. And while that sometimes might be the case, a lot of the times people don't, they kind of fail to realize that you have to put in a lot of effort, as far as just like literally getting good at editing or shooting or whatever you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
but also getting familiar with the industry, because there's a lot of people. I mean, you look on like Fiverr or something, and there's all these people who have, they make these like edits and stuff, and they don't really have any experience, and they're charging like 30-40 bucks for an edit or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they don't like actually, they're not putting forth something that's worthy of that, like that price
Yeah.
point. But they see other people like put that price on their work and stuff, and they're like, okay, well, I can make an edit, sure, I can charge that amount. And the thing is they're just not up to that standard.
Yeah.
These people who can charge like insane amounts for their video and editing skills and stuff, they've been in the field for a long time. They understand how to tell a good story. They understand how the industry works as a whole. And so I think there's a lot of new people trying to get into it that don't necessarily understand all of that. And I definitely don't understand everything. I mean, I'm fairly new to it as well, and I'm continually trying to get better and better myself in all aspects of media. I don't know if that answered the question.
No, yeah, that's
Um,
fine. So a follow up question is, okay, so how do we vet those people? So here's the issue. So I mean, when I first brought you onto the team and in the company, I told you
Hmm.
about my experiences with videographers in the past, right? And how
Yeah.
I perceived how much I should pay somebody based on what they provided me. Like when I originally when I talked to a new videographer, I based the payoff of, okay, what are the credentials? How good are they as a videographer based on the 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 resume essentially, right?
Hmm.
Like what have you created? Where have you gone to school? What have you done, right? But also base it off of, can I do what they're doing quicker than they can do it, up to a standard that
Exactly.
it's up to me. So like that's what I go for. And yeah, there's probably some disparities because what I think is good may not be what you think is good, and vice versa, right? You're a subject matter expert. I'm not. Um, so like, how can somebody vet? Let's say somebody goes on Fiverr and like, okay, I want a montage made of my game. How can they vet if they're getting a good deal or not?
Yeah. So I guess I don't want to. Not going back, but I wasn't trying to say that, I'm not trying to discourage anyone from like
Yeah.
pursuing media or anything like that. I'm just saying that there's a lot of people who kind of try and half-ass it and stuff and
Mm-hmm.
expect to see these huge returns and results. Um,
Okay.
and so as far as like actually vetting someone, I think I think the biggest thing for me, because I work with other people doing media and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
both, freelance and stuff, me like providing a product for them, as
Mm-hmm.
well as, sometimes I have different projects. I'm like, I need someone to just do something for me. So I'd send it off and they do like some graphics or something
Yeah.
like that if I'm ever don't have the time for something. Um, and the biggest thing I've noticed that annoys me is communication. Um, which is not directly related to media. I mean, it is, but it's related to everything.
But yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because uh, that's one of the most shocking thing to me is just the amount of people who even really skilled people who just don't put in the work of like following up and like trying to fully understand what's required of them and submitting their the video for like approval and stuff, accepting feedback, what can I change, things like that, but also things as simple as just like responding to an email and stuff. It's like
Yeah. You'd be
there are
surprised.
so many people that don't do that, and I think I'm kind of going off on a tangent here.
No, you
Um,
good.
but
No, but
as far as like actually vetting them, I think you have to one is look at their reel. Um, if you're a half decent editor or filmmaker, then you should have a reel of previous works, specifically pertaining to the things that you want to do. I have actually a few different reels for for like uh, anytime I'm looking for a position doing or like an opportunity to do like shooting versus like editing versus like motion graphics, things like that.
mhm.
Um, and so you want to look and make sure, like, see their previous works and stuff, make sure they're actually good. And also, the media field, especially within the esports scene, is people know each other,
Mhm.
especially once you get past like the very, very entry level
Yeah.
is, and so look for people that you can contact to see if they actually do a good job, because they might have an amazing reel and stuff, their stuff looks amazing, but then you talk to someone, they're a previous reference or something like that, and just they're not a good worker, I guess.
Yeah.
um
Makes sense.
but I guess those would be a few things to look for. I don't know if I have like really a guideline
Yeah.
as to how to find a good editor
Mhm.
and whatnot.
Well, that was everything you said. I mean, I know you stand true for it because when I hired you, you sent me a reel of stuff you did before, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is better than anything I've ever done." So, no, but that communication piece, I want to touch on that a little bit. It's yeah, you're right. Hit that right on the head. Because like whenever I talk to you about a project, you always ask questions, and I give you a lot more creative freedom, right? I do. That's how I want. That's how we operate, right? I give you creative
Yeah.
freedom that you do pretty much whatever you want. I just tell you what I need and when I need it. But you do a job of always asking questions like, "Hey, is this color correct? Do you care about? Do you like this highlight? Like little things?"
Hmm.
And you do that very well. And I definitely appreciate that because I'd rather have people that over communicate than under communicate, right? Um,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've worked with people before that I mean as far as like people giving me a job and stuff, you're pretty like you're pretty chill in terms of like how much freedom you give me.
I
Like
have to be.
I've just
Like
yeah.
a job like yours is like it's different. Like videography, it's nothing. It's art. You know, I can't.
Mhm.
I can tell you that hey, I want this video or I have this intention of creating this video that exuberates this message, right?
Mhm.
It's up to you to create it however you want to get it done,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And for me to not do that would be a disservice to you. You wouldn't be doing your job at that point. You would just be clicking buttons on the screen. So like,
Right.
it has to be that. So I'm glad that you feel that way. That I'm giving you the proper leeway and the proper amount of like push and pull to do your job.
Yeah,
But like
definitely.
you've had people in the past like go one extreme or the other.
Definitely. Yeah, usually more towards the controlling side, and especially in freelance, which it makes a little more sense because usually if they're hiring you for like a single project or something, they have a specific idea of
Mm-hmm.
what they're looking for and stuff, and they don't really know you, so they can't entirely trust you to just go, off on your own. Um, but there's also I've worked for different organizations and stuff that are very, very kind of limiting in terms of what you can do.
Interesting.
Um, and it's like you were like you were saying, like I feel like they're telling me, all right, press this button and then this button and this button. It's like really, really limiting. And that's why Reinvent has been so cool, is just because you give me an idea, you tell me like kind of some of the things you're looking for, and then you're like, see what you come
Yeah,
up with.
I never speak to him
Kind of
ever again. No.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's kind of a cool thing, is just because I get to mess around with a lot of stuff, and I think there is a danger in that. For some people, I could see them definitely kind of falling back on, what they're safe with, like what they feel comfortable with. I try to, whenever you let me go off, I try and kind of push myself to, whether it be a new technique or
Hmm.
just perfect something, whether it be like something as simple as like color grading, or
Yeah.
something like kind of as extreme as like, okay, I'm gonna incorporate these motion graphics, these 3D animations and stuff like that. And so I always try to, whenever I have freedom, try and push my skills and stuff,
Hmm.
because it's not often that you have someone who's willing to give you that freedom, and so I like to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense. Like the next thing I think for me, I want to get to the point where, well, as you grow and everything, that you fall under the marketing department, technically the brand, right, under Val and all that stuff. But like, I want to get to the point where you guys know me so well that you already my attention is gonna stay the same as you get bigger, right? Some things might get tweaked, but the the end goal, the common goal is always gonna be the same, right? It's never gonna change.
right,
So
right.
my goal is to have you guys understand me so well that you start just putting stuff out without me even having to ask for it, you know? And so
Hmm.
you have full control over what gets pushed out of the company, which could
Right.
bite me in the ass, maybe, but but obviously
When we
we can.
start releasing these super controversial
Yeah,
videos and
exactly.
stuff,
I'm gonna
and
be
you're like,
like,
what?
all right, creative freedom. I guess I can't say anything. No, but that's the point I want to get to because that's how it just has to be. Like it's hard. Like I don't think it's any more complicated than that. Just that's the way your job is, and it. I don't know. Yeah, the way your job is, and I'll be doing a disservice if I didn't let you guys do your job the way it's supposed to be done. And it helps everybody. It helps the company, you, the consumer. Because they get to experience
Hmm.
something new and something different. So yeah, man, I'm gonna keep doing that and keep making sure that's still the standard as we move on. So what's your favorite, your most favorite thing? What's your favorite thing and your least favorite thing about videography or video editing?
Oh gosh. Okay. Um, at the moment, I don't know if it's my all-time least favorite thing. At the moment, um, this is like a random thing, but rendering is horrible. So
Yeah.
so okay, so like exporting a video is one thing, but I do a lot of 3D animations and stuff, and I'm always messing with things, and I've been rendering all these like super heavy animations and motion graphics and stuff, just to kind of, you know, like I said, trying to get better at, with my skills and stuff, trying to just get better. And
Yeah.
the amount of time that it takes to render, Like I think we were talking the other night about how I need to upgrade my graphics
Mm-hmm.
card because it takes me forever. Like I'm exporting these like 6 second scenes, but they're so like graphically intense and so many models and textures and shaders and whatnot that it literally takes me like hours and hours. I just have to start rendering it in the morning and then go to work and then come home and hope it's done.
Sheesh.
So that's just a random thing that I don't love right now. Just because I'm doing a lot of 3D animation stuff right now.
Fair enough.
As far as I guess one thing I really enjoy is this might be too vague, but I guess just the creative liberties I can take with it. I love being creative. That's kind of my whole life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I My favorite toys were always like Legos and stuff. I just
Yeah.
love making things. And so I think I think video editing is just a really cool thing because especially I've worked on like short films and stuff like that in the past, and they say they say the story's written 3 times, first with the script and then when it's shot and then finally when it's edited.
Mm-hmm.
And I love all aspects of storytelling, but editing for me is so cool because you can take all this footage and stuff, and you don't even have to know what the story is ahead of time, but then you can completely transform it into this other thing. Like
Yeah.
you can just do so much. Like I've actually done projects like that at school. That was one of the assignments. Is our prof just gave us like all these different scenes and stuff, all these different clips, and we
Mm-hmm.
had to come up with a story from it,
Oh
which
well.
was a really interesting exercise to do.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was shot with a certain intention and then scrambled up and given to us, and we had to make sense of it. And it was awesome to see everyone show theirs because some people ended up with like a romance and other people had like this drama action sort of thriller thing going
Mm-hmm.
on, and it's just crazy to me editing how much creativity you can insert into it and how much you can impact a project.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Dope. 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 So, as we know, we have content creators for Team Reinvented Gaming. And whenever I talk to a content creator, whether for the org or just somebody in the Discord who wants to be a streamer, right? Or a YouTuber, I always tell them like, I think if you're new to like gaming and you want to put out videos, do it yourself. One,
Hmm.
it's not expensive to do it yourself. You can literally get free software, right? And two, it's just like you're new, so it's rather just put out something rather than nothing.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that? Like, what's your thought on that take? Do you think people should wait till they get a videographer, and or
No, because I mean, I think if you're doing any form of content creation, like if you're trying to become, a streamer or a YouTuber or something, I mean, one, it costs a lot of money to pay someone to edit videos and stuff a lot of the times. And if, you're say you're like some 18-year-old kid trying to like become a YouTuber or something, you
mm-hmm.
might not have that money. But also when you're like forced to edit your own things, when you're forced to like interact with your media, like you learn so much. Like in high school I used to do these dumb daily vlogs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and when I shot them I thought they were so funny, so great, and then I would go to edit it and I'd be like, dude, my content is crap. Like this is not good. And so when you're kind of um like narrowing in on editing again, when you're forced to like edit your own content, then you really can judge your content.
Yeah.
And I would hope that you would judge it fairly and stuff and recognize the things that are good and also the things you need to improve on.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a great way to like improve your content, because if you just send it off to an editor, then as far as like the only experience you have with it is when you recorded it and when you get it back. Um and so I think editing your videos and stuff, and it's a great way to get better. And for streamers and stuff, I mean, review your VODs. I
Yeah.
mean, watch your videos and stuff and see if you're just like, I see these streamers and stuff that spend the whole time just like staring at the screen and stuff, not like they're not entertaining.
Yeah.
And
They're not
that's the
entertaining.
biggest thing in like content creation is you gotta be exciting or funny or just entertaining in some way, because there's so many people trying to do it and they're just like
Exactly.
the most like monotone looking, like it's
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Especially, I would say like if you're trying to create a business or anything too, whether that's esports or whatever, like wait to hire a videographer until one, you have money, but also two, just like you said, you review your own content
Yeah.
because it's just better for everybody. You learn how
Hmm.
to video edit. You learn what works, what doesn't work. It makes the overall quality just better. And
Hmm.
it saves you time too. You could just
Yeah, exactly.
if you edit your own stuff, you could just do it right after it's done. Or
Hmm.
etc. So yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like edit your own stuff before you start moving outwards and everything like that. So well, we are closing in on the time, so I'll hit you with two more questions. So the first one is, where can people find you if you want to learn more about you? Want to talk to you, game with you, everything, the whole nine yards.
Hit me up, join the Team Reinvented Gaming
Hey,
Discord. Should be in the
yeah,
description
it'll be
or
down here on the
somewhere.
video.
Wherever you're watching this
Yeah,
video,
yeah,
it's somewhere
right
around
there.
here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just look for my name, picture. I'm in the server. Hit me up there. My DMs are open. I don't know. Yeah, that would probably be the best way. I don't really, for being someone who's like focused on media and stuff, I don't really check my Instagram DMs and stuff all that often.
okay,
Um, so yeah, hit me up on Discord probably. Um, yeah,
dope,
that's probably the easiest way.
easy, easy. My last question is, the iconic question is, how do you want to reinvent your industry?
How do I want to reinvent my industry? I hope to bring new life to um, the idea of creating new ideas because I've shared with you a lot that you look at all these YouTube channels and like big content creators and stuff, and they're making the same content over and over again with like one tiny little twist or something. And I mean, they can get away with it because they have all these millions of fans and stuff. But it's like it's kind of disappointing. It's just lazy. And so I would like to kind of inspire people to, try new things rather than just like replicate what so and so YouTuber or filmmaker or streamer is doing. What do you have that they don't have? What can you do that they can't do? How can you, you know, take their content and completely flip it on its head and come up with something entirely new? Stop replicating the same old videos over and over again.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's what I'd say.
all right, dope. No, that's dope. That's dope. Totally agree. Totally agree. So yeah,
New
guys.
ideas.
So that's pretty much it. Dawson, thank you. I learned a lot and it's good to, hear some insight about videography and your perspective. Obviously, you're a great guy, great employee, the whole nine yards, and I want to keep you as long as I can, because we're definitely going to do some great things. Dawson's working on some projects right now that you guys will see on our YouTube channel shortly, hopefully, Um,
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. No, but no, yeah. There'll be
Definitely.
new projects on the YouTube channel, and as we enter 2022, our content game is gonna be stepped up. Um, and yeah, we got some good stuff coming for you guys. So until then, Dawson, thank you again for being on the podcast,
Absolutely, absolutely.
and you guys back at home. I will see you in the next one. Peace.